Vicky. We'll certainly wait for Vicky to be seated. Oh, and at least two. My goodness, this is great. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you to the House Armed Services Subcommittee on Readiness Markup for H.R. 2810, the National Defense Authorization Act for fiscal year 2018. I'd like to begin by thanking the ranking member, Congresswoman Madeleine Bardillo, for her tireless effort and participation in this process. And I'd like to extend that gratitude to all of the members who are here today. I sincerely appreciate the wonderful participation from all members of the subcommittee, both minority and majority. We've had a great turnout at our multiple hearings and classified briefings and keen interest in the readiness issues facing our service members. Thank you all very much. Also, our staffs who worked diligently to make this mark happen. I want to thank each of you, particularly Craig Collier for his leadership, and Margaret Dean. And where's Margaret? Oh good. And just so grateful, and Andrew Schulman and Drew Warren. Thank all of you for your service. Over the past several months, we've heard testimony from each of our service branches about the critical necessity to address our military's readiness shortfalls. Here today, we have the responsibility to reduce the risk for our warfighters by making sure they are well trained and supported, and that the equipment they use is properly maintained and combat ready. I believe this mark accomplishes that task. The product of bipartisan negotiations, the mark before you incorporates legislative provisions and direct report language that I believe will make significant progress in resolving our most critical readiness concerns. Specifically, this mark provides for increased military construction over the 2017 levels, gives the Department of Defense more responsive facility construction, repair, and real estate authorities, and extends and expands several of the DoD's civilian hiring authorities so that critical manpower capability gaps, especially in our defense industrial base, can be filled quickly. Further, it directs several assessments of the military department's plan to rebuild readiness, enhance exercise, provide modernization for training requirements, and address the shortfalls in our public shipyards. I'd like to note, however, that these measures are not entirely resolve our readiness challenges. Because of the successive rounds of budget cuts and the danger and the threat of sequestration, these are issues that need to remain in our focus for years. Again, I'd like to salute all of our colleagues on the subcommittee as together we make the necessary steps to train and equip our military men and women so that they can confidently and safely perform their missions and protect the homeland. We now will be recognizing Congresswoman Bardillo, the ranking member of the subcommittee, for any opening comments she would like to make.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. So that we may move forward quickly, I will ask that my full statement is submitted for the record, and I would just like to make very brief remarks. I have appreciated this opportunity to work with you, Mr. Chairman, and your staff developing this mark. This mark will start to address our critical task of rebuilding readiness across the force and seeks to ensure that all forces are ready to respond to the full spectrum challenges that do face our nation. I would also like to take a minute to thank the staff who worked diligently through this process, Vicki and Brian, as well as Craig, Margaret, Drew, Andy, and Katie. Thank you. And thank you also to Jody, the subcommittee's clerk, who keeps this whole show running. And in particular, I would like to thank Vicki Plunkett. This is Vicki's 10th and final markup as a member of the professional staff on the committee. Her personal and professional career is distinguished by her commitment to the service of others and our nation. Her contributions to this committee are well known and respected, and I know that many of us will miss the decades of experience and knowledge she has brought to our work. On a personal note, I have deeply appreciated her wisdom and counsel and her thoughtful and creative approach to problem solving. Her editorial expertise certainly served the staff well, too. So, Vicki, thank you for your service to this committee and the contributions that you have made to the defense of this nation. You are a trusted friend and will be missed on the Hill, and I wish you and David the best in the next chapter of your lives. And I know you will be thinking of a vacation on Guam. Thank you very much, Vicki, and to all the staff and to my colleagues. And thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I yield back.
Thank you very much. And indeed, Vicki, the highest honor could be an invitation to Guam. So what a tribute. And we appreciate your service so much. At this time now, we will proceed to mark up H.R. 2810, the National Defense Authorization Act for fiscal year 2018. Without objection, the first reading of the bill is dispensed with. Copies of our subcommittee mark and directive report language were made available and distributed to all of our members in the last 48 hours. Is there any discussion or questions on the subcommittee mark? And I would like to point out that we had a pre-mark meeting yesterday where we had a very positive discussion on many, many issues, and I'm so grateful now that Congressman Bishop is here to join us too. If there's no further discussion, the chair lays before the members the text of the subcommittee mark for consideration. Without objection, the mark is open to amendment at any point. Are there any amendments to the subcommittee mark? I ask unanimous consent to call up an en bloc package of amendments that have been worked and approved with the minority. Without objection, so ordered. Will the clerk please pass out the en bloc amendment? Without objection, the amendments are considered as read. The en bloc package is comprised of the following. Amendment number 1 by Congresswoman Madeline Badallo regarding logistics management business systems modernization. Amendment number 2 by Congressman Mike Rogers that extends authority through FY18 2021 for temporary personnel flexibilities for domestic industrial-based facilities and major range and test facilities-based personnel. Amendment number 3 that grants a 1-year extension of the temporary authority to grant allowances, benefits, and gratuities to civilian personnel on official duty in combat zone. Amendment number 4R1 by Congresswoman Madeline Badallo that directs a briefing on the Sentinel Landscape Partnership Program. And amendment number 6 by Congressman Joe Wilson that corrects an administrative error in section 2601. And amendment number 7 by Congressman Joe Wilson that corrects an administrative error in section 2602. Is there any further discussion of the en bloc package? If there's no discussion, the question is on the adoption of the en bloc amendment. So many as are in favor will say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the amendment is adopted. The question now occurs on the adoption of the mark as amended. So many as are in favor will say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the mark is adopted. The chair now recognizes a Congresswoman from Arizona, Ms. McSally, for the purpose of a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move the subcommittee report the mark is amended favorably to the full committee.
The question is on the motion of the Congresswoman from Arizona, Ms. McSally. So many in favor will say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. A quorum being present, the ayes have it, and the motion is adopted. Without objection, a motion to reconsider is laid on the table. Without objection, members have 5 legislative days within which to submit written statements for the record. So ordered. I also ask unanimous consent that staff be authorized to make necessary conforming technical and clerical changes and to remove from the mark as amended provisions that would cause the mark to refer to other committees or would result in additional direct spending or would result in an earmark. Without objection, so ordered. There are no further business before the committee. This meeting is adjourned upon motion of Austin Scott.